Hello, this is Left Turn Productions, and welcome to the Arc Legends series, season number 1, round number 7, here at Sunoco Speedway. So this is going to be a very different race than the ones that we've been seeing recently, because 1, it's not a plate race, 2, it is 16 laps, which means that there will be one pit stop during the race at some point. They'll have to go through one pit stop cycle. And yeah, it's a very interesting course indeed. And this is also the first of 2 night races here to end off the season. Now, it might seem like daytime right now because it is, but it will transition into night as the race goes on. So yeah, unfortunately, there's no starting command here today because I contacted the person who was supposed to do it, and he didn't get back to me. And so then I contacted the person who I was supposed to contact if someone didn't contact me in time, and they didn't contact me either. So, yeah, no starting command for this race, but hopefully there will be one in the finale. So yeah, the cars will roll off here. And there was also no qualifying because qualifying was rained out, so there's a lot of differences here. So, the starting grid was set by point standings, owner points here. So, row 13, you see a little ice wall there. And then row 12, the two yellow cars there, Hope Wilmington and Ryan Kendall. Row 11, Zachary DeLello and Brian Ferris. Row 10, Scarlett Rose, back for the whole race for the first time. I think. Actually, no, wait. Was that at Riki that she ran the full race? No. This is the first time she's run the full race in this series. And alongside her is Grant Hoover. Row 9 is Sports Fan 2009 and Extreme Chevy 2. Row 8, Eddie Benzie and Jake Hoover. Row 7, Jacob Persner and Landon Markham. Row 6, Angelo Crockett and Shane Wensloff. Row 5, Zarek NASCAR fan and Caleb Marinelli. Row 4, James Johnson and Dylan Kroom. Row 3, James Winter and Brady Wilmington. Row 2, Trivia May and Caleb Campbell. And on the front row is Flamble Camaro and Brendan Creason. So here we go. The pace car rolls off. Brand new pace car, by the way. And this is going to be a bit slow here. But here on the initial start, look for those drivers with the orange banners on the back of their cars. Those are the championship contenders, the ones that are mathematically eligible to win the championship. Green flag is in the air and we're off. Going out of turns 2 and 3, Brendan Creason jumps to a commanding lead as they're 3 wide for second, 3 wide for third, that is. Flamble Camaro gets out to second. Brady Wilmington gets underneath him, though. And Brendan Creason is going to lead the first lap. Wilmington making a bid for the lead now as he tries to get by Camaro for second. Look at this. They're stacked up 3 by 3 further back in the pack. And championship contender Trivia May is right in the middle of that. Going through the hairpin once again. Flamble Camaro got a great drive off the hairpin. He's going to beat Wilmington back to the start-finish line for second. And there you see your top 3 on the top right of the screen. Flamble Camaro is going to go for the lead as he goes on the outside of Brady Wilmington. And now James Winter has joined the fight too. That is Creason's teammate. Junior Motorsports has perhaps been the most consistent team this season across all their entries. And I believe the only team that has won multiple races as well. Oh, Flamble Camaro drives it off too much in the hairpin, and now Brady Wilmington will assume the lead as they go 3 wide for second. Now Caleb Campbell's thrown back into the mix, as well as the 12 of Dylan Kroom, who's been on a hot streak as of late. Wilmington still has the lead, and James Winter escapes with second. Going into the hairpin once again. Wilmington still has the lead. Oh, Creasy got bumped out of line by Dylan Kroom. That's going to cost him several spots. That's going to knock him outside of the top 10. And here comes Flammable Camaro. He's on the outside of Brady Wilmington. He's really been making that high line stick. And how about Jake Hoover? He's appeared into the top 5. You see him behind his owner, Caleb Campbell. Ryan, his team owner. Coming to the line, Flammable Camaro, I think, led that lap. Going into lap number 6. Oh, caution's out. Big crash. Brian Ferris in the 00 has climbed up on top of the wall as he ran into the barrels. Wow, we're going to have to see a replay of that. Oops, I accidentally stopped the video instead of pausing it. Oh well, I can stitch it together in editing. Anyway, big crash here that has brought out the first caution of the day at lap 6. If I'm not mistaken, this is the longest that a York Legends Series race has gone under green flag from the start of the race. So yeah, not the longest green flag run that we've had, since the one at Talladega, I think, was about 7 laps. Anyway, look on the right of your screen. There's Brian Ferris right at the top there, already spun around, and he just backs into the barrels and climbs up on top of them. They're probably going to red flag the race, and in fact they have. They've stopped the cars just off the exit of turn number 3. They're going to have to fix the barrels. Not only that, but they're also going to have to get Brian Ferris off of the wall. Here is a better angle. He's on the backstretch. Watch for the 00. There he is on the right of the screen. And that is Eddie Benzie underneath him. Maybe he thought he was clear of Benzie, but he turned across his nose there. Could have been on the driver, could have been on the spotter. We don't know. And backs up hard into the wall. Fortunately, the car stays on all 4 wheels, but stuck on top of the wall. Gonna be hard to get him off there. And it's probably gonna be a rough landing for Brian Ferris once he climbs out of the car. And here you see the car stopped on the backstretch. This is only our second red flag of the series. The first one happened at Indianapolis with the crash that involved Scarlet Rose and Little Iceball. The one that took Rose out of completing the full race for the past 3 races, but of course she's back now. So after about 30 minutes of cleanup of the barrels, as well as trying to remove the 00 of Brian Ferris off there, twilight has struck. And everything is back in order now. And some drivers are going to go down into pit road as the pace car leads them back under the caution flag. Flammable Camaro, the leader, stays out, but everyone else behind him comes in. Alright, so not everybody actually went into the pits. There were a lot of drivers near the back of the field that stayed out, trying to get some track position here. Here you can see the top 9 all stayed out. It is Flammable Camaro, his teammate Landon Markham, Sportsfan 2009, who's had a pretty rough season, Jacob Herster, Ryan Kendall, Eddie Benzie, Scarlet Rose, Hope Wilmington, and Little Iceball all stayed out on this restart. Caleb Campbell in 10th is on fresh tires. He was the first one off pit road, but watch Brady Wilmington as well. He's the first one of those on the inside lane. Going through turns 3 and 4. Green flag is going to come back out here on lap number 8. Flammable Camaro gets a great push from Sportsfan. Oh, but Ryan Kendall dives inside of Sportsfan to make it 3 wide. Kendall has had an awful season, but he's looking to have a good finish, hopefully, to just have some sort of good from the season. Lap 9 out of 16 now. Oh, Sportsfan ran over something, I think. I saw his car wiggle. Maybe a problem. Here comes Ryan Kendall for the lead. Up on the outside lane. Caution is out. And it is Sportsfan. He's up into the outside wall. So the caution has come out for the second time today. So here's the replay, but it doesn't show the full story. Just before the start-finish line, Sportsfan 2009 kicked up some debris. It landed up on top of the wall on the outside, just past the start-finish line. His car was wiggling all the way down the all the way through turn 1 and down the front straightaway. And right here is when it finally got spun around. As you can see, the car drift up into the marbles and hit the outside wall there. So yeah, A lot of damage to the right side, but the team did not quit. They got the car back out there, fixed up some of the damage, and hopefully we'll be able to finish the race. So the strategy that the others pulled maybe will pay off now, but Ryan Kendall will lead the drivers that didn't pit under the last caution down now. And this will be an interesting gamble to see Flammable Camaro in particular make, since he is one of the championship contenders, only 1 point behind the leader, Brendan Creason. And now the lead of the race will be handed over to Brady Wilmington. So, Wilmington has not won yet this season, trying to get his first. So, the pace car will pull off now. We're going to have another restart. With Jake Hoover on his outside, Trivia May and Caleb Campbell in row number 2. Green flag in the air again. We have 5 laps remaining. Oh, Caleb Campbell got bumped by James Johnson, and that will hold up Marinelli. Brendan Creason, I think, got held up too. And now, Wilmington, Trivia May, and Jake Hoover have pulled out ahead of the pack. Here they come through the hairpin. 4 laps to go. Jake Hoover to the inside of Trivia May. And it looks like he might complete the pass. There is Sports Fan's car. Very slow. And Jake Hoover will use the lapped car as a pick. And he will get to second place. 3 laps to go. Wilmington still leads. A win in this stage of the season will be huge for that 62 team. Uh-oh. Trouble with Sports Fan. He's up into the wall again. He held up Ryan Kendall and made him lose like 5 or 6 spots. Oh, the officials aren't going to like that. He was going very, very slow on the front stretch. Here comes Jake Hoover to Wilmington's back bumper. He got there. He wasn't able to make a move, though. 2 laps remaining. The officials have parked Sports Fan for going too slow. They've given him the black flag and forced him to pull into the garage area. So his race is now over. You saw Jake Hoover make a bid for the lead in turn 2. Wasn't able to make it happen. He's going to get another shot here in turn number 4. He gets into his back bumper. He turns Wilmington around. Caution is out. Championship implications for Brady Wilmington. And Jake Hoover will get the lead. But the caution came out, so the race is not over. Oh, man. Payback for Jake Hoover. So if you guys don't know the story, this is not the first time that these two have gotten into each other this month. About a week and a half ago, in the NOS Energy Premier Series race at Nike, on the last lap, Jake Hoover was in the lead with Wilmington behind him. In one of the corners, Wilmington bumped Hoover, which caused him to spin out, and Wilmington would go on to get his 10th win in that series and break a 5.5-month-long stop-motion winless drought. But Jake Hoover was not happy with that, and before Wilmington could get to the burnouts, Hoover ran his car into Wilmington's. So this is an ongoing rivalry. Now Jake Hoover is now on the antagonist side here as he bumped Wilmington into the corner. We'll see the replay here. Hoover just drove it in. It's pretty clear that he took him out there. Trivia May looks like... No, she wasn't able to get inside. She was able to get inside, but not able to pass him. Man, Brady Wilmington must be fuming after that one. Here's the replay once again. Hoover tried to take the lead off of turn 2, couldn't get it, and so he goes into the hairpin here. He did exactly what Wilmington did to him. Wilmington got a taste of his own medicine. And that might take Wilmington out of the championship hunt. As the blue 62 got put in the wall. Just a little bit of back-end damage. He might still be able to continue, because he did not hit the wall very hard. Thank goodness that he crashed in the hairpin when he wasn't going very fast. So we are now going to go into overtime with Jake Hoover as the leader. Not a championship contender. All he cares about is winning the race. Trivia May is on his outside. James Johnson, I'd look out for James Johnson on this restart. Shane Wenzloff in the hunt as well. Both City Lights racing cars are up there. And the green flag is in the air. It's overtime here at Mobile. Oh, the leader's wreck. Trivia May through the grass. Jake Hoover up the racetrack. And more cars get involved. James Winner, Flammable Camaro, championship contender involved in the crash. Zarek NASCAR fan involved. Scarlett Rose is in it. Oh my goodness, we are going to have another attempt at overtime. And Trivia May's championship hopes are over. She was already a long shot for the title, but this is going to be the final nail in the coffin for Trivia May. And Flammable Camaro, he might still be in contention at Daytona. It just depends on how many points he loses to everybody else. It really just depends on how good Brendan Creason and Caleb Campbell end up finishing. Let's look at the replay here. Oh my goodness. Did Trivia May take out Jake Hoover? It looks pretty clear. I think Trivia May turned herself down into Jake Hoover. I don't think Trivia was happy with what Jake did to Brady Wilmington, obviously her boyfriend there, and expressed her emotions and almost got away with it too, but slid up in front of Landon Markham and goes hard into the outside wall. As you see a bunch of other cars collected. Extreme Chevy 2, I missed him, as well as Landon Markham the first time by running through the names. They were both involved and sustained heavy damage. Let's look at it again. Trivia May is going to be in the hauler after the race. The officials have said. So yeah, that's a very sketchy move right there. Hoover got plowed into by James Winner, and Flammable Camaro was behind him, had absolutely nowhere to go in that situation. Nothing he could have done, as well as Zarek NASCAR fan. Landon Markham got squeezed there. His bad season continues. Bad season except for the win at Riki last time, though. Oh, wow. Scarlett Rose plowed into Zarek NASCAR fan. That was a very concerning hit, though, but she was able to get out okay. So, yeah, tempers are flaring for sure here at Mobile. Already a lot of controversy, but the race still isn't over. James Johnson, amidst all the chaos, ended up taking the lead in the red number 32. To his outside, Shane Wenzloff. He really wants to get a win. Get Dodge's first win in the series, in fact. And then it's two championship contenders, Brendan Creason and Caleb Campbell behind them. Green flag is out. Will we make it to the end this time? James Johnson gets a great restart. Ryan Kendall, I didn't mention him. He's in the mix as well. Here comes Creason to the inside. They're going to swallow up James Johnson coming out of the corner, and Brendan Creason is going to take the lead. Oh no, Caleb Marinelli gets turned. Hard hit for him. Caution is back out. Caution flag is out for, I believe, the fourth time today. No, fifth time actually. This is the fifth caution, and this is a record breaker for this series. I don't know if it's a channel record breaker. There might have been a couple of York Cup Series races that have had this amount of cautions. I highly doubt there were any with 6 or 7, but as you can see Caleb Marinelli in the back there. They were 4 wide behind him, and 4 wide doesn't really work at Mobile. He cut across the nose of Dylan Kroom, tried to save it, couldn't, and Hope Wilmington, man, I cannot believe her luck this season. She has been in the middle of just about everything. Man, I'm sure Hope Wilmington's going to want to forget this season, for sure. Here it is again. Yeah, he and Dylan Kroom get together. I think he cut across Kroom's bumper, but Kroom could have bumped him in the quarter panel too. You see Brady Wilmington up there at the top of that 4 wide. He was able to miss it, as well as Grant Hoover. Hard hit. The car gets up in the air, but fortunately doesn't go over. And just Wilmington had absolutely nowhere to go in that situation. And so, as well as number of cautions, the record for number of overtimes has been shattered here in the series. This is the third attempt at an overtime finish. Hopefully they're able to make it to the end now, because the race was long before, but it's just even longer now. Brendan Creason trying to become the first multi-time winner this season, and in clutch fashion as well. Ryan Kendall, who's outside, who's had nothing but rotten luck this season. Shane Wenzloff and James Johnson behind them. 2 laps to go, maybe, if we do make it. Creason gets an excellent restart. He needs perfect execution to fend them off behind them. Caleb Campbell on the outside, 3 wide. Eddie Benzi's getting involved. Zachary DeLello's in the mix as well. Here comes Kendall to the outside of Brendan Creason, trying to take the lead away. He's side by side with him, coming to the white flag. Shane Wenzloff makes it 3 wide. Creason is around. He spins in turn 1. He's going to be able to collect it back together. But back in the race for the lead, Ryan Kendall has the lead now. Shane Wenzloff in second. Wenzloff dives it into the corner, but it's not enough. Ryan Kendall is a winner in the York Legend Series. As the field goes by there, man, what a finish. And on the cool down lap, obviously Dylan Kroom not cooled down at all, as he shoves Brendan Creason up to the outside wall. I wonder what that's all about. Man, temper's really been overflowing in this race. So here is a replay of the final lap here. Ryan Kendall on the outside of Brendan Creason. It would have been big if Creason ended up winning this race, but he just cut down in front of Shane Wenzloff. That slowed Wenzloff's momentum down, and that's what basically secured Ryan Kendall the win. Look at Creason, though, completely sideways, but he saves that car. And then down here on the back straightaway, James Johnson and Shane Wenzloff going side by side there. Going into the corner, Wenzloff tried one final swipe at it, overdrove the corner. Ryan Kendall ends up winning the race. They are 3 wide for second there, with Benzi getting it. You can see the rest of the field go by. So we don't have a replay for what happened between Dylan Kroom and Brendan Creason, but our reports say that on the final corner, Brendan Creason pile drove into Dylan Kroom, knocking him up the racetrack, much like what happened to Creason earlier in the race. And Dylan Kroom wasn't very happy with that move. And here's the aftermath of that. On the cooldown lap again, Dylan Kroom not cooled down at all. Shoves into the aid of Brendan Creason there. Creason probably isn't very happy with... Oh, and he turns him around. I didn't see that before. Yeah, Creason turns Dylan Kroom around on the backstretch there. Obviously not happy with what he did. Temper's boiling over. Seems like everybody's mad at everybody today. Usually you'd see that from short track racing. Alrighty then. So, here are the results. Ryan Kendall gets the win for Joe Gibbs Racing. I said earlier in the race that he was just looking to have a highlight for the season that isn't about him crashing, and fortunately he has that now, as he wins a wild one and a long one here at Mobile. Congratulations if you watched the whole race, man. I really thank you. Eddie Benzi finishing second, James Johnson third, Shane Wenzloff, Jacob Herstner gets a top 5 here in the end. Yeah, pretty good for him. Zachary DeLello, exactly what he needed after a rough season. A lot of these guys have had rough seasons and are now rebounding here. Caleb Campbell finishing 7th. He is the highest out of the championship contenders. That might help him gain ground on Brendan Creason. But Creason did get a lot of bonus points from this race, since he won the pole and led some laps. But I believe it was Brady Wilmington that ended up leading the most laps. But anyway, Wilmington himself actually rebounded into the top 10. Good run for him after getting knocked out of the lead by Jake Hoover and causing him to spin out. Andre Crockett, I might as well mention her. She got a top 10 there, and Grant Hoover rounds out the top 10. 3 Caleb Campen Motorsports cars up in there. Brendan Creason in 11th. He looked like he was going to get a top 3, but on the final lap, you know what happened. And then, he almost got a top 10, but couldn't quite get there. Little Icewall finishing 12th, and Dylan Kroom rounds out the cars that finished the race. And there you see all the DNFs there. Marinelli, Hope Wilmington, Jake Hoover, Winner, May, Camaro. Big hitting points for Camaro, might I mention. Zarek NASCAR fan, Landon Markham, Extreme Chevy 2, Scarlet Rose. That 09 car has been through a turbulence of problems this season. Not just with Scarlet either. Sportsfin 2009 got parked, as I mentioned earlier in the race, for being a hazard, going too slow on the racetrack. And Brian Ferris rounds out the field. And here is the points going into the finale. This is probably what you've been waiting for. Brendan Creason maintains the points lead, but Caleb Campbell is breathing down his neck, only 2 points behind. Flammable Camaro, surprisingly enough, didn't lose all that much. He ends up 8 points behind, and Brady Wilmington as well. He actually gained on the leader too. He's 18 points behind. James Johnson in 5th, 21 points behind. But yeah, that's probably the last of the championship contenders. Brady Wilmington is. James Johnson probably out of the running. And honestly, even Brady's a bit of a stretch. Shane Wenslow finishing 6th. Shane Wenslow is 6th in points. Trivia May falls to 7th. She's out of the picture now. Eddie Benzie gets into the top 10 in points. Good for him. Jacob Hertzner, Dylan Kroom, Andre Crockett. A lot of the winners this season pretty far back in points. Pretty interesting there to see that happen. So that will conclude the 7th race of the season. Congratulations to Ryan Kendall for winning the race, and the final race will take place at Daytona International Speedway. So stay tuned for that one. This is Left Turn Productions signing out.